Because IVF is such an expensive treatment, and because a lot of patients find it very hard to spend all that money, especially when they don't know whether the cycle is going to work or not, a lot of patients will hunt for the cheapest clinic. And lots of IVF clinics are aware of this, which is why they will game the system. They will often end up cheating patients by quoting a very low upfront price and then adding a lot of hidden costs, which are written in fine print, which means they say one thing and the patient is mentally prepared to pay that. But when the cycle is actually over, the patient ends up paying 2 or 3 times as much because they have all these additional costs. And it's very easy for these clinics to upsell the patient or to hide additional costs. And poor patients often, because they've already started the cycle and already spent the money, they can't abandon the cycle halfway, which means they keep on paying up more and more, which means the patient ends up spending a lot more than they'd budgeted for. And this is true whether they get pregnant or not. And the clinic ends up making a lot more money. Now, it's easy to cheat some of the patients some of the time, or even lots of the patients lots of the time. And a lot of clinics do this by advertising very misleading rates of how much they actually charge for an IVF cycle. All I can say is let the buyer beware. If it's very cheap, it either means the clinic is cutting corners or they're hiding the truth and they're ending up taking you for a ride. And often the cheapest is not the best option. So you have to be careful about which clinic you choose. And sometimes an expensive clinic could actually be far better for you because they have a higher success rate, which means the cost per baby actually ends up being lesser than it would be at a cheaper clinic. Do your homework, make sure you check out the rates before actually signing up at an IVF clinic. Best luck.